In the middle of a violent storm in the Aegean Sea, an Athenian ship struggles to survive against towering waves. Lightning tears across the sky, revealing a lone figure slowly walking toward the edge of the deck. His body is covered in scars, his skin is pale like ash, and his eyes carry nothing but pain. This man is Kratos. Without hesitation, he looks into the abyss and throws himself into the sea. As he falls, he whispers that the gods have abandoned him. But that is not the end. It is the beginning of a tragedy that started long before this moment. 3 weeks earlier, the city of Athens is under siege. Monstrous creatures roam the streets, temples collapse, and soldiers are crushed like insects. At the center of the destruction stands Ares, the god of war, towering and unstoppable, determined to prove his supremacy by destroying the city protected by Athena. The gods of Olympus watch from above, unable to interfere directly. Instead, they choose a mortal champion to act on their behalf. That champion is Kratos. Kratos was not always the ghost of Sparta. He was once one of Sparta's greatest generals, a warrior feared and respected for his brutality and discipline. He led countless battles and earned countless victories. But one day, facing an overwhelming barbarian army, Kratos was defeated. His soldiers were slaughtered, and he was left on the verge of death. In desperation, he cried out for help. He called upon Ares, offering his life and service in exchange for victory. The god answered. The blades of chaos appeared, bound to Kratos' fans by chains burned into his flesh. With this new power, Kratos slaughtered his enemies. In that moment, he ceased to be a man and became a servant of war. For years, Kratos carried out Ares' will, destroying cities and spreading chaos. He became a living weapon, an extension of the god's fury. But Ares wanted more than obedience. He wanted to forge the perfect warrior, one free of all emotional weakness. To achieve this, he deceived Kratos. During the attack on a village, Ares secretly brought Kratos' wife and daughter into a temple. Blinded by rage, Kratos stormed inside and killed everyone in his path. When the battle haze faded, he saw their bodies, his wife, his daughter, dead by his own hands. The horror shattered him. An oracle appeared and cursed him, binding the ashes of his family to his skin. From that moment on, he would never forget. He became the ghost of Sparta, condemned to carry his guilt forever. Kratos abandoned Ares, consumed by hatred and grief. Without purpose, he turned to the other gods of Olympus, seeking redemption. They promised that if he served them faithfully, he would be freed from his nightmares. For 10 years, Kratos obeyed without question. He killed monsters, saved cities, and endured unimaginable suffering. But every night, the nightmares returned. He was forced to relive the moment he killed his family over and over again. Finally, Athena offered him one last chance. If he killed Ares, the gods would release him from his torment. To kill a god, Kratos needed the only weapon capable of granting such power, Pandora's box. The artifact was hidden inside Pandora's temple, a massive structure built on the back of Kronos, a titan condemned to wander the desert for eternity while carrying the temple as punishment. Kratos crossed the desert, climbed the enormous body of the titan, and entered the temple. Inside, he faced deadly traps, monstrous creatures, and cruel trials designed to break both body and mind. The temple was built to ensure that no one would ever reach the box. Still, Kratos endured, driven by his obsession with redemption. After a long and brutal journey, he finally reached Pandora's box. But just as he was about to claim it, a massive blade pierced his body. Ares, even from afar, had struck him down. Kratos was thrown from the temple and fell from the Titan's back, plunging into the underworld. He died and was condemned to eternal torment among the damned. But Kratos refused his fate. He fought against the very forces of death, climbed out of the depths of the underworld, and escaped, something no mortal had ever done before. Returning to the world of the living, he finally claimed Pandora's box. When he opened it, divine power surged into his body, pushing his strength beyond mortal limits. Now, he possessed the power needed to face Ares. Kratos returned to Athens, where the god of war continued his destruction. The two clashed in a battle that shook the earth itself. Ares attacked not only Kratos' body, but his mind, trapping him in an illusion where he relived the moment he killed his family. This time, however, Kratos made a different choice. He protected his wife and daughter within the vision, confronting his guilt instead of surrendering to it. This act broke Ares' control. With his strength restored, Kratos faced the god in direct combat. Using the power of Pandora's box and the blades of chaos, he struck without hesitation. After a brutal struggle, Kratos achieved the impossible. He killed Ares. The god of war fell, and Olympus was saved. With the threat eliminated, the gods appeared before Kratos. They declared that his sins were forgiven, but when Kratos asked them to remove his nightmares, they refused. They told him they could forgive his actions, but they could not erase his memories. In that moment, Kratos realized he had been used. He had sacrificed everything, and still his suffering would never end. Without hope, Kratos walked to a cliff and threw himself into the void, seeking escape from his endless pain. But the gods intervened and saved him from death. Athena appeared before Kratos and offered him a new destiny. With Ares gone, Olympus needed a new god of war. Kratos was chosen to take the throne. He ascended to Mount Olympus and claimed his place among the gods. Kratos had gained power, immortality, and the status of a god. He had become the very thing he once served and hated, yet none of it brought him peace. His nightmares remained. His guilt endured. He was no longer fully man, nor fully god. He was something in between, trapped in an endless cycle of violence, consequences, and sorrow. Thus, the new god of war was born, not as a savior, but as a living proof that vengeance does not heal wounds. It only transforms them into something deeper, something permanent.